Welcome
Are we
back.
live,
We're in
guys?
something. We're
Can
in
you guys see
something
us?
big.
I'm scared.
How's everyone doing?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared. There's a lot of pressure up, guys.
Should we release some margin so we've got some DCA power?
No. The only way that we can release margin on a full port trade is by upping the leverage.
Like, you're the goat at this, not me.
So yeah.
Anyway, people, quick update. You can see my little screen below Chento's. So that's Chento's screen there, the big one. Then underneath that little rectangle is my current trade. And we are currently in a full port short with an average price of 70,986. And we're down $550 right now, and $150 of fees, unfortunately, because it's a big position.
$150 of fees.
Yep, it's a big position. I know, right?
Well, I wouldn't call it a big position, but it's.
Well, you know, it's decent. It's
Well, the fees are definitely there, you know.
It's a $305,000 position. And yeah,
damn,
so you
Mr.
can see our
Baller over
floating
here, huh?
P&L, what we're up, and yeah, let's see how we go. Finally, we're in something. We were in something yesterday, but now we've just got in. This is intense. I'm starting to feel the nerves a little bit. Not gonna lie, this is a bit of a make or break moment. I got my dumplings.
Yeah, the account is too small, and we need to put too much pressure to have like good DCA entries, and that's what's making it so hard. Because, like, if you look at my main account, the orders are way more spread out. So with this, we just gotta. I don't want to call it hope, but we gotta aim way more for small pullbacks and try to build it in order that we can start DCAing up. But it way overshot 70K. Well, 71K, and now it's consolidating above, but it's getting a little pushback in volume.
What do you mean build the position? Are you saying we would take them off the table in the green so we can add more above?
No. What I would normally do is on a bigger port, like for example now the 500K to 5 million challenge is at 1 million. I can scale way more and still get good results, you know. Like, but if I would scale your position to 2.5K, it's not gonna bring us to where we need to be. So I need to be way more aggressive in terms of scaling, in terms of taking positions, and then hoping that we get little retraces. But especially on the lower time frames, the 1 minute is cooling down, the 5 minute is starting to cool down. There's a solid retracement already, like from the top to here, it's 0.4%.
You mean the pump is cooling down or the retracement's cooling down? Like, do you think it's ready to...
The pump is cooling down. I'm not too worried yet.
Gotcha.
Like, it's trending downward, not upward. But, yeah, there's always a but. We have a dwell block area at 79.62. That's also why they didn't tap it for 4 times. Look, even on the 30-second time frame.
If any of you were in here yesterday and saw our limit that we'd set, we got so close today to hitting our limit like 5 times.
Twice.
Within dollars. Okay, twice.
Yeah.
I may have exaggerated.
Yeah, one was very painful because it was only $8, and then from there it went down to the next dwell block. So we would have taken profit here. That was 0.84%. So that would have been 3K-ish profit. Even went down 1% in total. And you can see it immediately rocketed through. Like, it's the only thing that it consolidated for a bit exactly on the dwell block and then just pushed on. But that's the issue with levels like this. They need pressure to go through it. But this is trending down. Like, I can draw a trend line if you guys want one. But you see, it's a bearish trend. No one's buying this, are they? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm feeling the nerves, not gonna lie. This is...
Bro, you're a pussy.
I've traded some decent money in the years, but never 40 leverage. So that's where it starts to get a bit iffy for me. So I'm thinking, woof, but we got a goal of 50k. We still got nearly 10x from where we are right now. So we got to do some crazy shit. No doubt about it.
You almost break even.
Yeah, I know. Before we were down 1500, and that's when I was like, ooh.
And now you're down like 300?
Yeah, 340, yeah.
Oh, that was a good guesstimate. Thing is, if they break, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna tell you now. Like, this is a tricky level because it's at the bottom of this range again. So they have two options. Either they're gonna break back down again and they're gonna go to 70.7, or they're just gonna fuck off to 72k.
Yeah, and at that point, is it worth taking risk off the table with that being like a potential
Yeah,
option?
then
Because we're barely down.
Yeah,
like right now.
I think what we're gonna do then is we're gonna close it. We're gonna up the leverage to like 80, and pray to the crypto gods of them forgiving us for all of our sins.
What? So you want me to close it now?
No, absolutely fucking not.
Oh, I thought you said.
No,
to
no,
close
no,
it and
no,
wait
no, no,
for wait for an
If
entry.
if it goes up tremendously,
Okay.
like.
Okay. I'm just gonna turn my fan on one second.
So what's the problem I'm seeing right now? And what my biggest problem is as of now, and what I don't like to see in the charts, people are aping shorts, man. Look at the 1 hour, 20 million is wrecked on this small move. Like, why is everyone aping in so many shorts? What is lovely to see is, look at this. Look at the indicator. Bro, perfect fucking tap yet again. Listen, this indicator moves from lines to lines. Perfect tap here, boom, perfect tap to the other line. I'm working on a partnership with Blowfin to get the indicator out to you guys.
So in a perfect world in this trade, what do you see happening? Like, if all goes to plan, what will happen? Will it shoot back down to the lows that it was at before?
I want to see a retest of this, 70.962. From there we can reassess the situation. And then in a perfect world, these have now crossed bullets on the 5 minute. I have to check the other time frames where everything is at. Let me check on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, it also had a perfect tap. So that confluence works tremendously well. Where's the rest coming in at? Oh, Jesus. No, I don't want to talk about that. No, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that. That's not bueno. So based on the 4 hour time frame, we could go to 82.
Shit. Well, that's what we're here for, people. We're here for some fun. We're here for some fun, a little bit of high risk play, and let's see what happens. We're almost break even right now, so we're in a decent.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. You know. Ooh, pressure. Now I want to see pressure. This is the moment where I want to see pressure. At the equal lows for the third time, the 5-second chart. Now Bitcoin gotta be weak. We don't want to see strong boys. We want to see weakness. This is not weakness. I told you I want a weakness. There's a no volume pump back out of consolidate. Nah, they're not releasing liquidity yet. Come on, there we go. Now push through. It's like labor, you know, push it.
We're nearly there. Look at my P&L, guys, on the bottom of the screen. As it pushes down, we're about to hit green. Unrealized. Negative 33, negative 22, negative $2, and we're green. $8.
Minus
$13. Come on, baby. $20. We're on our way. So if it was me trading this with my inexperience and my not very good at what we're doing right now, I would be taking risk off the table at break even in case we see a pump back up. So we've got the ability to at least add more and reduce our liquidation. But there's a reason Chento's a lot better at trading than me, and so that's not what we're going to do right now. And we're up 100.
So you want me to explain why I'm not doing that?
Yeah, sure. Let's hear it.
Wait, what? Did I just read someone saying this is pure gambling? People are gambling hard? Oh, yeah. No, that's true. Like people are aping into shorts, man. That's what I don't like. We've taken out quite a lot of shorts, but there is liquidity up to 72.5. Oh man, perfect bounce on that. Look. Ugh. Why does my stuff work too good? So the thing is, why I'm not taking money off the table right now is the structure hasn't been invalidated. That means that for us, in order to get invalidated, the pain has to be bigger than what we already endured. And that might not be fun to hear. But secondly, like we've sat through a drawdown, right? So we had all this pain. And if you suffer pain, you want to get a reward. It's the same as, compare it to a tattoo, you know? You want to get something pretty done. It's going to take time. You're sitting through the pain, but then in the end, you have a beautiful tattoo and it's worth it, right? Trades is the same. If you sat through the pain and the plan is still working, that's when you got to reap the rewards. And that's what a lot of people are not doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make
So
sense.
people have the tendency to be like, oh my God, I'm finally break even. Oh, wow, they had 6 days of red. They see a flash of green and they're out. And that's mostly when the position capitalizes towards their direction. So they forget to pay themselves for actually doing a good job and actually holding. And all the suffering and suffering just to get out for peanuts while they could have made coconuts.
Coconut.
That came out way funnier than I
Oh, here we
expected.
go. This is a nice candle. We're up 150. Like I said the other day, people, now we're dumping. We're up 500, 440. I said, I've got a little surprise if we close a banger trade.
Man.
A little,
Bro,
cheeky surprise.
that's not bueno volume. Don't hold your horses, my good friend Baxter.
Someone said, I'm sorry, Chento, long looks juicy. Like there are a lot of people in the chat thinking that we're gonna pump today.
Listen, my indicator says 80% short. There's so many people longing this shit. And now on 24 hours, they almost write just as many shorts as they did with longs. Bax, how much up are you?
393, 370.
Not
anymore.
Bro, listen, you can now live see the mental struggle.
Someone said, are you in a short? Yes, we are. The little
like I'm getting trade paralysis here.
Doesn't show it, but yeah, we're in a short. So what's the struggle, Chento?
Yeah,
what are you struggling
80% is
with?
the highest it has been. The problem is, I can see why people would long, and I can see why we're going to 72K. But I also see that it's the obvious choice. And that's what I'm struggling with. Also, again, it's not my money, and I know you said treat it like your own and just fuck it. But it's not easy for me, man.
Yeah, well, I came into this very prepared to lose. Lose it, so.
From rags to raggier. From broke to bankrupt.
Yeah. From broke to in debt.
How much up are you?
330.
330? That's impossible. 430.
No, 330, 322. 299,
really?
325, yep.
What the
viewers
fuck?
know I'm not talking shit because they can see it. Now 350.
Bro, exchange spreads my ass. But Bitcoin is pushing the lows. That's confusing.
Leave the like button, guys. We are back and we're finally in some trades. It's taken us a while to have the
I have to check something. 5 seconds.
All good. It's taken a while for us to
Don't die in the meantime.
At the perfect time where we're actually in something like super volatile and live right now. That's close to entry. Our last trade we showed yesterday was we were already up massively. We're up $2,000. So we'd endured that initial volatility. And Or we're pumping a little bit. The leverage and the size of this trade, it's a 40x leverage full port. So it's a big boy. It's a $300,000 trade with all the leverage and the position size accounted for. Someone said, what's your fee? You can see the fee on opening in the realized P&L was 150. So I assume it'll be the same for close. So it should be about $300 total fees. So we need to be at least that in the floating P&L to cover both sides. Chento walks away and we immediately start pumping.
Yeah, it's my aura. Like Bitcoin is afraid of me.
So we had a limit order set for 79.62, I believe, all day, and we ended up get really close, and then it ran all the way back down an entire percent. So that was painful to watch because that would have been 40% on a full port, which would have put us well above 10k. But we didn't hit it, and then lo and behold, it pumped up again and smashed through it. So we actually closed that limit order. I opened the trade slightly above, so my average entry is 70,986. So $10 better than our limit. Nothing crazy, but an interesting push down. Come on. Oh, here we go. Here we go, people. Chento, what are those little dots on the bottom of, like, happens on the bottom of... Okay. So the bigger the dot, the bigger the liquidation.
How much are you up, buddy?
500.
Only 500?
Yeah. Because I remember our entry is nowhere near the top. It was 986. Someone said, what is the TP for this short? Do you have one in mind?
6k.
6k BTC or 6k profit?
6k BTC. No. Guys, also, if you want to access the indicator, you have to use my Bluefin link. So start trading with me on Bluefin, and that's how you get access to the indicator, because it will be publicly available pretty soon. Link is in the description. Yo, Baxter, you're eating. Not just eating, but you're eating.
I'm eating profits and I'm eating dumplings. We're up 670.
How much are you up?
670.
Close it. Limit, please. Limit to 78.80.
78.
80.
It's at 850 right now on Bluefin.
Yeah, do it 880.
Okay.
But take your time. It's not like price is moving up, so don't worry.
All right, it closed.
Good. How much did you make?
$273.
How much?
$273 after fees. That's yeah. So we paid 300, so it was 578 on the trading P&L and 305 in fees. So it's 150 either side. At least I'm on Chento's link.
Oh well, it's 3% on board. What can we do? Profit is profit, you know? You know how many people made $200 today?
Plenty.
Bro, $200, it's not what we're looking for. Listen, you can't deny it's profit. Let's remain positive.
Someone said, why the actual F would you close it here? Is there something you saw in particular?
Look at the strength and the formation they're building. It looks like they're going to shift out of this. And they're still consolidating under the dwell block. Like it feels, I close it because it feels too easy. To flip bearish again. I might be wrong, don't get me wrong, but I'm just way more conservative when I'm doing this stream.
So
yeah. At this pace, it might take a year for us to do this challenge, but that's fine. You know,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Closed the short. Yes, we did. We just closed it. Made $273 in the end.
True profit is profit. Listen, guys, couple of things. One, the market has been irrational for a couple of days. The pump yesterday was uncalled for, but it's because all of you morons keep aping in on shorts. Secondly, it's a Friday. Friday are notoriously bad for trading. Normally, the best trading days is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Why? Because this is where the market settles and where the market is like more balanced out. Mondays consolidation after the weekend and post move mostly, and Fridays is just, they don't call it fuckery. They call it fuckery Friday for a reason, right? So these days are harder to trade, where I tend to be less risky, and this is completely free alpha. Hence why my decision to lock in the profit. Like, guys, the thing is, we made almost 3K on the challenge this week with having 3 decent days.
We're at 8,110, so we're at $3,110 profit.
So we made $3,100 profit, which is over 60% in a week. Yo, it might not be 50K.
We're only on day 4. We're only on day 4.
Yeah, so how many people make 60% in a week by being conservative and only taking 2 trades?
Yep, 2 trades. I don't think anyone's doubting the results. Like the results are really good.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone saying otherwise. Crazy. Freaking beast. We've just got a ridiculous goal of a 10x, which is unheard of, but that's why we do it, because no one's doing it. So we've got to stand out somehow. Hopefully we now see a huge, delicious pump, which will allow us to potentially get a better entry to the downside again, or if you see a shit ton of strength, maybe we want to long it.
My issue is that I'm heavily short favored.
Your indicator being over 80% is extremely high as well.
I've never seen that before.
We saw 2 days ago, it was 80, wasn't it?
No, it's 78.
Okay.
I keep a log off of it.
Yeah, well, this is as high as it's ever been, so yeah, it seems like a very good
World keeps spinning. I once did 1K to 400K, then 400K to a million back to 100K, and that 100K back to 2 million. Bro, if I documented that, it would be a fucking YouTube series. You see? There it goes. Look.
That's why he's the GOAT, people. That's why he's
immediately covering the range. You see, they're not suppressing it under this level yet, because this equal is holding until now. This is quite a strong level, because they tried to suppress it, they really couldn't. Then they suppressed it, and then the violent shift out. So I don't see this breaking immediately. Our entry wasn't good enough. If we would have entered at like 71.2, I would have contemplated holding it way more, but now I just prefer to lock in, man. I'm sorry.
No need for.
What are we looking for today? I'm looking for shorts. The thing is, my indicator is bearish. I'm bearish. Oh, fuck me, sideways.
Did
you ever seen Lilo and Stitch?
Are you holding your short?
Yeah, but it's uncomparable.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
I am. Have you ever seen Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah, when I was a kid, but not for a while. Is that the noise he makes? The Stitch noise. Yeah, you've got a pink Stitch, don't you? The plushie.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. It's in my streaming room. I won that at a carnival, so I don't know. It's there for that.
It's got a story. They will sell off.
Bro, why did it dump immediately? Oh, I swear the market maker is watching this stream, man. Yo, shout out to the market maker. Welcome for showing up again. Nice to have you here again.
Unfortunate.
So I'm so sorry, Baxter. I feel
Bro,
so
you don't
sorry.
need to apologize. We're not. No, this is. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any sorries. This is.
Also,
is
for the
trading.
followers, sorry for fumbling this, guys.
We made money, people. We made freaking money. That's the important thing. Even if we took an L, so what?
But what people need to understand is that the pressure of publicly trading, like the thing is, with my own board, I can DCA and I can DCA and I can get my entry better. And even though I'm sharing trades publicly in the Discord every day with the entries, everything I do, it's still so different on stream because of all the opinions and the opinionation of the people. And I know I have to let go of it. And I know I should get a thicker skin, but I'm still learning and adapting to the process, guys. So bear with me. It will be there pretty damn freaking soon, but it's just a bit of a rough process, you know?
I think you're doing very well. I don't think you got anything
Thanks.
to. I don't think you got anything to justify, to be honest. I don't think anyone here in the chat thinks the same either. You're killing it. No one's doing this for free. That's the truth.
So I gave the trade to the Discord, and the people from the Discord that aren't in here, they're in luck. So I can chart it out where the entry was. So they're probably still holding, which is might be great. So I'm gonna chart this out for the people in the Discord. I would advise stop loss at break even for them.
Oof. Someone said, Baxter, are you slamming shorts too? No, not. We just did. We just closed a short for a little profit, $270. You can see under the chart there. That's our realized P&L of that last trade. But we're currently not in anything. I guess that's part of trading, watching the trade go in your direction after closing. It's pretty common.
Yep.
The way it is.
Bro, you want to see something worse than that?
Sure, let's see it. Oh, that's crazy. Hit the TP like a freaking dome. It's hilarious. How many percent is that? I can't see.
4.32% down.
Wow. So how did you set that TP? Because that's just ridiculously accurate.
Yeah, it was, you know, you aim for 3% spot move because that's what they exponentially do. Like the average move of Bitcoin currently in a New York session is 2.1 to 2.4%, right? So I exponentially do that by 1.4 to 1.6. No one is 100%. Did you trade options? No. Why did you close the short? Stick to your plan. Bitcoin selling. If you don't have a plan, don't trade. Bro, I always have a plan. What are you saying to me? That I don't have a plan or what? Discord would be great if you post meanwhile obsoleted older posts. I don't get what you're saying to me. I don't understand your question or your comment. And bro, if you would have known me, you know that if there's anyone with a plan, it's always me. But you try and sit here and trade other people's money with 400, 500 people watching, and that will have the convo, okay? Because and one of the most planned guys there is.
Would you potentially re-enter at a shitter price if you see a lot of sell strength?
No, trade's gone now. We have to watch. We have to look. So what's making sense right now? Let me. Also, what was stupidly ludicrous yesterday? Oh, I deleted it. Shame. I deleted the thingy I made, but that's fine. The entry price of the trade I've given in the Discord was 71,110. So that's up 0.75% now, which is pretty immaculate. But it's fine. Not everyone from the Discord is here, so.
Damn, that is a pretty decent
pullback. A different story.
One of them we will catch, and it'll do the whole move that's planned. And
damn, it's just gonna retrace this whole pump. Yeah, probably. Okay, you guys want to know where it's going next? Shall I enlighten you guys? Wait 1 second.
what do you guys think? Where are we heading? Where are we heading today? Today itself, it pulled back to this same degree, like an entire %, and then ended up bouncing 3 times. So who knows? It may very well do that again.
Not like you. Say sorry. So if we're gonna bounce, it's gonna be here. So 74.70. That's where we're bouncing. Press the like, guys. Support this channel. Absolutely. Oh yeah.
What do you guys think? Do you like this format now? Is it enjoyable to watch?
Bro, how can it just bounce like this? Like, I wasn't even done talking and it's already doing it. Bitcoin, hey, listen, market maker, if you want to play with me, at least wait till I finish my sentence, okay? Jesus.
Maybe Satoshi sells and nukes the whole chart on us. I'll be really curious what that would do to the price. Some people think it would send it to like 5K or 15K or just drop it massively. I have no idea. What do you think, Chento? If the Satoshi wallet became active again and even did a transfer, I think it would kill the market.
I have a completely different opinion. I don't think the guy is still alive. Two things. One, I don't think Satoshi is one person. It's almost impossible for someone to gain so much knowledge across the board, like from computers to financial system to social engineering, social understanding, and everything. Listen, the whole concept of decentralizing the monetary policy and thinking that far ahead in that time, like there's no individual that brilliant, you know, or at least that's my personal humble opinion. Secondly, I think, like I said, it's a group, and secondly, they probably either taken it out, made sure that it's hushed away or whatsoever. That's me. But if that wallet would become active, who?
Where do you think we could go if that did happen?
Depends on. Depends. If it sells everything and no one knows who it is, might be mayhem. If they step forward as the group or as the person, which is unlikely, I don't know. I don't know brighter data, to be honest, Orca. RSI doesn't move the market, absolutely. Satoshi's not from Earth? Well, that's not a bad theory. Oof.
Oof.
Bax, oh my god. I'm sorry, Baxy.
I don't want to freaking hear it. I don't want to hear the apologies. We're not here to apologize. We're here to move on and figure it out. We will get there. We'll do it one way or another.
Okay.
Ooh. Hey, at least you're still in your short.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell the public how much you're up in this drop?
18K on my 1 million account, and I started the second 500K to 5 million with the inner circle on a slower pace, less challenging, and that one is up 11.
Big 29 bands. Take it.
Yep.
Someone said you don't go broke making profit. Exactly right.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm a pretty big advocate for that in even my share investing and buying stocks and so on. Like, if you're in the green and you feel it in your gut that you want to take some, take it. Pay the bills. That's what I do. You don't want to be a bag holder. If you were a bag holder in the altcoin season, you're up 20x on any alt and you held it until now, you'd be not good.
Black.
How much it would be now? $5,000 if you didn't close.
What are your fees like on that trade, Chento? Bruh. Okay, so a lot of people ask me this. I'll show you my account, right? Lex, can you see this now?
Yeah, let me
move
make
over.
your head bigger. Yeah.
I'm not gonna disclose this, like, and if people, oh wait, I have to switch off to don't disturb. So I'm not gonna do this because I don't want to get hacked, but for the people doubting it, like.
Damn. So have you got two? Is that both of your
refreshing everything? There's no demo, nothing. Also, if you go to account, like, look, you can see here, I'm VIP 4 as of now, and I need to do 150 million more in trading volume to unlock the next VIP tier. And as of now, I did 350 million spread around these days. Yeah, that's stupid volume.
That's so much volume.
So
yeah,
that's 350 million, but as you can see, I pay 0.004 in taker fees. But let's say that I limit 30% of my orders. So 210 million. Let me get my calculator. 210 million times 0.004. That's 84K in fees. In this week.
Crazy. That is absolutely freaking crazy. That is crazy. Wait, so what account is that? I thought you had two 500K accounts.
Yeah, I have two 500K accounts. So I have two. So what I'm doing is, one, I want to prove to the public that you can still hammer in this market and be insanely profitable. Just to prove the haters. And the second one is I'm running with the inner circle. So if people are trading with 50K or more, wait, sorry, I lost my storyline. I was reading something. If people trade with 50K or more, you can join my inner circle. You can be part of this challenge. You can be part of all of it absolutely for free. Why? As people can see, I make my money trading, man. I don't need anything else.
That's why I'm here and I did this video with Chento, because he's actually legit. As everyone in this chat knows, like, it's said over and over again, the amount of scammers in crypto is just outrageous, rampant, and it's only going to get worse with AI videos. And you can put a trading screenshot into Gemini, Google Gemini, and change the profit and loss in 3 seconds. Yeah.
Bro, but the thing is, but people are also way too easy with giving their opinion. You know, the amount of hate I'm getting for Bro, I publicly do everything, right? I sit there every day and trade, and you guys see it. Right? There's no hindsight, no nothing, no fakeness. But
I don't see
still,
you get much
people are
hate,
calling
honestly.
me
You get
out like, yo, listen, if you don't, I had a guy saying, if you don't within 7 hours move this 500K off the exchange and back on it and send me the TX address, you're fake. And I'm just looking at it like, bro, okay, so you're talking to me, a guy who has two 500K accounts. And you're telling me you're going to publicly shame me if I don't move my $1 million and send you the public moving address for doing that. And I'm just contemplating that idea in my head. I'm like, you must be fucking stupid. I can't say it differently. But it's like, bro, what's wrong with your head? I don't have anything to prove. I'm sitting here doing it for free. And then there are guys like, yo, but in 2021, he sold courses for $500. Yeah, I did mentor people when I became profitable. And at the beginning of my journey, we had like 10 or 15 people that really, really, really wanted to get mentored. And I said, okay, we'll make with a friend of mine, and we did it together. And we had like 20 people. So we made 10K each. It's neglectable money, you know? Everyone is finding his niche and finding his edge.
You can mentor
And
people
yes,
for money.
3 years ago,
That's fine.
yeah, and 3 years ago, we did copy trading on 𝗪𝗋. 𝗪𝗋 wasn't ready. I was beginning to learn how everything worked within the social space. And yeah, bro, it cost me a lot of money, and it wasn't the best for the people following, but we quit as soon as we saw that we were getting hunted. There's nothing more we can do. But you can't, listen, there's so many scammers in this industry, and I get why people are skeptic, but people should run their mouth a lot less. Because people are destroying their own chances by doing it. And I'm going to explain you why. Like, look at my position, right? I can say I make very, very decent money. I love what I'm doing. I love it for the people here. I love it for the people being positive. I love it for the people learning and changing lives and everything. Like, I paid people's cancer treatment, you know? We do a lot of giveaways. We give away a lot of money, a lot of knowledge, everything. And I don't want to portray myself as a saint or whatever, because I'm not, but I'm trying my best to do good, you know? But the toxicness destroys that, because toxicness always outweighs. You're not up at night because someone said, oh, what an amazing trader made. You would be up at night for 10 people hating on you. Even though 100 say you're doing well, the 10 will always outweigh the 100. That's what people need to start understanding. And calling someone a lob or fake or whatever, bro, come with proof. Like, I have proof. 𝗪𝗡 is a good example. The guy said, oh, I have 60 million now. Bro, I have screenshots of the guy saying, I'm going on a holiday with the profits I made. It said demo on the fucking top. He forgot to delete it. So where is he going? His garden? Listen, if you call out those people, perfectly fine, I'll support you. But you can't just randomly keep calling people out on, oh, where did we bounce? I told you it's going to bounce on the line.
I have an
Like, it
opinion on that.
cannot
I
get
feel like
any-
your community is not. You've got maybe a few random cherry-picked haters, but I feel like there's a lot of love in here, and everyone, even the best people in the world, have got some people talking shit. There's never gonna
Yeah,
be
100%.
that eliminated.
And
I reckon this community
I
is pretty
should
positive.
get influenced way less by it, and I know it. But the thing is, it might also be partially my ADHD, and I'm gonna do a video and a story about like my childhood and everything, and how I got to this point. And I already talked to Baxter. People who don't know, he's managing my social media, because if anyone ever needs, but you need a big budget because he's amazing and yeah, quality costs money. He's the fucking goat of social media and content and everything, and he's the reason why most of you are here and why I'm going viral. So I'm very grateful for that. That's why I'm taking him on my journey on the other side. Like, things influence people, you know, and everyone is different. And remember, my ADHD, I can get insanely obsessed with stuff, but I can also get insanely obsessed with negativity. So it really influences me. I get completely scammed out of trades by people's opinions sometimes, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah. And that's something I try to find the mean between not giving a fuck without being arrogant and remaining humble, still reading out the comments without getting influenced by hate. And it's such a thin, hard line, guys. You have to understand, I want to be there for you guys give you all my time, my attention and everything. But the more you give for free, the more people expect. So it's like, I'm really still navigating and levitating in the realms of where my sweet spot is and where I have to be. And that will, yeah. But I can promise you guys one thing, I will stay like this. And if not, just someone come over and smack me in the head, because I'm there for the people, you know.
I wonder what type of
So sorry for my
actual
10-minute
actions
yapping
could go
session.
in place to assist that problem, like potentially having stronger filters on the live chat that doesn't allow kind of trade opinions to come through and that sort of thing. There may be some actionable things that might help your mindset with that.
Yeah, but I like opinions. The thing is, if people would explain it, I don't mind. If someone is saying, yo, I would long here, why? Because, you know, the time frames are flipping. We're holding again the next dwell block. We had an exponential move up. We're making a higher low. And I think we can go up to 72.5 because there's more liquidity. I could have an actual discussion with him, and it would be so good, you know, because that's what I'm seeing now. Like on the 5-minute chart, it's creating incredible higher lows. So I don't draw trend lines, but I see shit. Like, let me get this off, and I'll show you guys why I don't have to draw shit, because
We're
my
honestly
eyes
only like
automatically do it.
$100 away.
I can tell you
from
that
our exit price
if you would draw a trend line, the lower trend line would be perfectly holding, like to the T. You see? I don't even have to draw this line. I can see it. But the upper line is also holding, and I would let's get that off. And again, I don't believe in trend lines. It's absolute trash. But what this does, it's making higher lows, right? So it's consolidating, but the consolidation is also in an upwards trajectory. And that's what's making me bullish. Upwards trajectory, retest, but higher low. Upwards trajectory, retest, higher, higher. So as long as this is going on, and now this should end minimum from here, I think it's gonna have a small pullback, and it has to go here, and then it has to hold this to do this. But this is something I don't need a fucking line for it, and I don't believe in the line because everything works until it's proven otherwise. But my intuition and doing this for years and years and 10,000s of hours, that's why I'm good at this shit.
You know what I see when I see those lines? I see us potentially getting in something. Woo!
You like that sound?
I want to show the people an entry and an exit on camera. I want to do the whole thing because we haven't done that yet. That would be pretty funny. No pressure. No pressure, people. What are you listening to there? You got some?
Yeah, that's fine.
Linkin Park on.
Now I'm having Linkin Park on. So I started with Sound of Silence, Sail from Aero Nation, 3 Doors Down, Kryptonite, Metallica, Nothing Else Matters, Bring Me to Life from Evanescence. Then a backyard session, Jolene from Miley Cyrus. Daddy Swims, Nickelback, Five Finger Death Punch, Cranberries. It's a bit of a mix, but I don't know. I kind of like it.
Some people here may not be, or sorry, maybe you're wondering why we don't have music on the stream as well. We initially didn't have it because of technical difficulties, but now it's because I'm turning this series that we do, I'm going to clip this live and turn it into a video on my channel. So ideally we hit that 50k goal because that will be ridiculous. So I have a channel on YouTube called Baxter Purse. You could just write Baxter Crypto or Baxter Trading and it'll come up. 100,000 subscribers. And this video, if we hit the goal, is going to be freaking banger. Going to be like a Netflix documentary style sick video showing the whole journey. So that was the initial kind of idea behind these live streams. Show that we can do it live, get some insane clips, turn it into a video, and it would be super entertaining and inspiring. So that's the goal. The goal is still active, but just for some clarity.
Guys, the link for the Discord is in the description. Like, you don't even have to move. It's that easy. Or listen to 𝗷𝗫𝗃 5 half. Guys, in which position is Chento? I'm in a short from higher up. So on my main, I'm holding shorts. But for the challenge right now, it's sidelines for this one. Of the neon night.
I've been asking myself what I would do in these positions to see how your knowledge changes the trading style. If it was me right now, like based on your indicator being over 80% and seeing this like little pullback, if it were me trading, I would be probably scaling into a short here with less size and trying to catch that little pull back down. That's what I would do.
Yeah, but the question is, why would it reverse from here? Because, okay, this is a nice conversation, guys. This can be very, very, very educational. I look at historics and probability, as you know, right? So the probability of it retracing from the level where it is right now, let me draw a line here. I'm going to make that yellow. So it's nice and distinct. Here we go. By the way, guys, we're both trading on Blowfin. The link is in the description. We're also having a trading competition with the Banter family. If you want to join my team, which I can highly, highly recommend, because I'm balls to the walls, we're going to win this. And you get access to the indicator. Okay, so the probability of us rejecting here, for me, would be less than 50%. Why? We went 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, right? So what did we do? First, we rejected. Second, we broke out, came back, went up. Third, we went up. Fourth, we rejected. And fifth, we don't know yet. So we have 1 rejection, 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, and a pending. So now the odds are 3 to 1 of us rejecting in regards to pumping. And that's what my brain is visually recognizing. And that's my reasoning now for not jumping in the short yet.
Makes sense.
Even though I like the looks of it. But if we look historically, small candle at the high, rejection. This is looking the same. So you could definitely be right of it being a rejection. But then this trade would still be running with stop loss break even. Going in here with this headroom of the room where it might go is 1.4%. 1.4 and 40x is minus 65%. I'm not risking it for the potential upside of going here, which is only 101.34%. So the risk of entering here is larger than the potential gain I can make from that move. And
so yeah,
if we look at previous breakouts,
flip.
this breakout also had the exact same structure. You see, candle at the high, rejection, small consolidation, breakout. So this one might reject down, then we have some consolidation, and then it's a make or break it. As soon as we have clarity at a dwell block, I'm going to re-enter. But right now, because we're between the 70.9 and 70.3 dwell block, there's no way for me of entering it here. And that's just preserving capital, preserving capital, preserving capital.
So based on that, would you potentially re-enter a short if it broke below the current dwell block and started consolidating below, since you think that would then push to the next dwell block below that? Or would that be too shit of an entry for the short?
What did you say? Once again.
So if we drop, see you've got that dwell block under the current price. If we drop and break below that dwell block and then go up a little bit and consolidate just under that dwell block, since you say that consolidation underneath the dwell block will oftentimes push down.
If we consolidate here, I might take it. If we consolidate here, I might take it. So here or here is short.
Yeah, I was referring to that second one, the lower one.
Here is also definitely short. If we're consolidating here or here, I'm longing.
Interesting. Cool. Well, let's see what happens. Hopefully we can do something on stream. Let's see if the gods bless us. The other thing we could potentially do tonight, if you are interested, people, I don't know if you're streaming later on today, but if we entered something, say, in 3 hours' time when we're not filming, we could jump back on and stream that movement if you're not in another stream.
I have my banter stream at 3 together with Dylan for the New York opening.
We'll see how we go.
Sail. Oh yeah, they don't have music, so my sincere apologies for raping your ears.
You guys can see.
By the way,
that,
guys, if you don't press the like button, I will continue on singing.
You cut out after you were speaking the punishment that you're going to do on the viewers.
Yeah, I said I will keep singing if you guys don't press the like button.
Ah, gotcha. You can see here, guys, in the little rectangle underneath Chento's chart is our. So that was our recent trade that we just did for 273, and then yesterday's was 2,700. Then there's one right under which you can't see, but that's plus 65. So that's the 3 trades we've done. We're 3 out of 3 with green so far in the challenge. They've been less frequent than we planned initially. You can only take what you get.
Yes.
Someone said, can you show margin leverage? We're in no trade on the challenge account, at least. Chento's in a trade, but on the challenge we're in nothing. So that's why you can just see the realized profit. Because we realized it. Got 0 risk on the table.
Yes.
And our account is at $8,100.
Have you got any video explanations of the tools you use? I'm making them. So, okay, let's go over what I use as tools, right? Because it might be, I'm using 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏, trademark pending by 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. It's 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏 by 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. It sounds like a hair shampoo, but I don't give a shit. It's our new own aggregator. So I use the 5-second chart. It shows you the liquidations. It shows you the deviations in influx. So the CVD lines volume, and live influx and outflux of orders. I use TradingView, and I have 2 indicators. It's Chento on top. Yeah, my software team has humor. And it's my probability indicator. Both of them, again, are built by us. And they're probably going to be available pretty soon and for free if you use our link and do minimum trading volume. And then I have the liquidation chart up with the liquidation levels by Leviathan, but we're going to build a new version of this because I can see some improvements, and we're going to make it ourselves. So I'm using 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, my own platform, for influx, outflux, live data, and short time frame. I'm using my, well, I don't know how the code is. My accelerated EMA combined with VWAP probability indicator that also does a whole lot of other things to get the confluence and the lower time frame entries. And I use my probability for the daily bias.
And for those who
These are
aren't
the
in the
tools.
Discord
I'm gonna
already,
make
we're
educational
posting in the
video.
Discord when we enter something. Yeah, sorry, I cut you off there. I'm just saying, anyone who's not in the Discord, we are posting when we're in a trade in there. So if we're not on live and we enter something, you'll see it in the general chat in there, or in the Chento channel in the Discord.
So I'm gonna make educational videos. I'm finding a sponsor to do it because the editing and everything around it is expensive. So we might have an exchange sponsoring the educational videos, and then it will be free, accessible, etc., etc. So if we sign up with 𝗕𝗟𝗢 and 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏, we get access to the indicator, correct? Not yet, and it might have a volume target. So by signing up on 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏, you have the high probability of getting access, because we're still figuring out with them how we're going to do it. Because, guys, these indicators are not easy to build. And how many times have you guys seen an indicator that is actually working? I haven't. Do you use stop losses? I'm going to answer that in 1 minute. Will you ever make a similar inner circle group for people with less than 50K to trade? Yes, I already did. It's called 𝗬𝗏𝗡𝗥𝗍𝗏 Discord.
Yeah, it's true. I was gonna say the same thing. I was
it's
gonna
true.
say he's got a Discord, like I'm in it, and it's packed with value.
Viking
Absolutely
Collector,
packed.
it's a manual process, so it might take some time. And VIP and non-VIP, everyone gets VIP free for the first 30 days. So you have to check your rows. You might already have it. You can't see anything else yet. So it might remain the same because VIP and non-VIP now shows the same since we're building the bots. If you have lots of people doing this challenge, won't the market maker hunt our stop loss? Well, I get this question a lot. And first of all, why do you think there's nothing else that I trade than Bitcoin? Because I don't like the illiquidity. I know how many people follow me. I know the sizes. I can see everything, and I track everything of what every is doing to call them out on booking shenanigans and hunting our stop loss. So I have a deal. One 𝗨𝗏𝗡 is the only exchange that is not booking from the non-KYC exchanges. And if we trade on another non-KYC exchange, we have a deal with them that we're A booked instead of B booked. So the community is safe for market maker hunting and deviations. Also, we have spread deals. And it's the only reason why I trade just Bitcoin. Not just the only one, because I think the rest is trash, but me trading Bitcoin only takes care of the fact that we as a group or as a community take bigger entries. Because my main account, listen, buddy, I can tell you a lot, but yesterday I have screenshots. I was in a 400 BTC short. That is $30 million position.
That's just
we as a group
crazy, fucking crazy.
Is the Chento trades account trustworthy in Discord? Well, my name says won't DM you first. If it sends you a DM, bro, I'm sitting here streaming most of the day. Fill in the blanks, But
I think it's just a safe bet to say Chento will literally never DM. If you get a DM from a Chento account, it's not him.
Yeah. I do $30 million positions myself. The chances of us as a community doing bigger than that are pretty slim, and I have no issues with being hunted, being portrayed, being attacked, being whatever on 𝗨𝗏𝗡. So we do our due diligence. And again, listen, it also has advantages, especially for bigger traders who trade under us. Why? On 10/10, we were the only community that got refunded more than 500K for buy tunics. Why? Because the market making stopped. Right?
Can you go into more depth about that and what B booking is and what the benefit of 𝗨𝗏𝗡 over an exchange who is not doing those practices and what it actually means?
What happened is the current market model of exchanges changed. Why? Because everyone is greedy. Everyone wants to have their fees back. Everyone wants to pay less. No one is paying listing fees, and the liquidity gone as well. So where they used to make 80% of their money on the trading fees, now that's down to 20-30%. And they have a gap in listing fees as well. So what happens is now the exchanges starting to do the market making internally, which means that you're directly trading against the exchange. Hence scam wigs, shenanigans, and other stuff. Like I have heaps and heaps and heaps of proof and public callouts that I've already done, right? So I look for exchanges that don't do market making over Binance VP9 or don't book, and there are not many. 𝗨𝗏𝗡 is one of them. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 is also good. I'm looking into other exchanges, but it takes time. So with that, you don't get these problems. You don't get the illiquidity. You don't get hunted. And next to it, if we unite as a front against an exchange, like you can either get maybe slightly better fee deals, or you can get a bit of rebate yourself, especially if you're trading 10 million a month plus. But figure this. Something like 10/10 happens, everyone gets liquidated, and we as a community, and me with millions and millions of viewers of reach, and Banter with millions and millions of viewers of reach as well, is going to call them out. Who do you think is going to get their money back? Me or you, who is directly affiliated with the exchange? I'm an exchange partner because the exchange wants me to, right? The benefits for me are neglectable because, again, I make my money trading. Man, and I can show you conversations where I was almost at the point of suing exchanges, where we had the lawsuits prepared. Why? Because I'm there for the people. So it's better to be on our side. It's better to be with us for when shit hits the fan. And even though that only happens once or twice a year, but we can always help you. If you can't close a position, we got a team on standby. If there's something going on, we have 24/7 support. We have dedicated VIP managers. We have dedicated managers for everything at the exchanges. Why? Because our cumulative volume, even though I'm not making much off of it because I'm paying my team, I'm giving back rebates to whales and everything, and I'm doing the inner circle running it, but it's just stronger to unite and stronger to be together. I'm not disclosing who the lawsuit was against. Chento, sir, I've heard it is difficult to get many exchanges API to get data collected and it requires huge server load. How did you overcome that to build the FlowX website? I can't in detail tell you because I didn't build it myself. I have to ask my software team, and I don't know if we want to disclose it, to be honest. So that's exactly, there you go. Software already answered for himself. Is the 100K yearly or monthly volume? Monthly, 100% monthly. Do you have a Blowfin link? Yes, everything is in the description. Have you used 2-bit? Bro, I used to run 2-bit. Look back on the data. I was CEO at 2-bit for a year.
That's crazy. What was it like being a CEO of an exchange?
Ludicrous. It's such a different world. It's such a different opinion. It's, you know, there's so many people working in Web3 now and pivoting to it. And the growth and the money and everything in it was ludicrous, especially this was in 2022, end of 22. Yo, they would get evaluations of 20 times turnover, you know? So you did a Series A investment round, you had a company that was losing 300K a month. For example, I'm not saying these are 2-bit numbers, but just an example that I've seen in the market when we were looking into the statistics of doing Series A investment. So you're looking for, let's say, 10 or 20 million. You have a company losing 300K a month and doing 4 million turnover a year. And you just go to investors and say, well, I think this company is worth 80 million. And people are like, yeah, sounds like a plan. Let's do it. And I've been watching it in awe. I have never in my professional career, and I've run some businesses, I've been close to businesses. I think I can say a good heap of experience for my age. Bro, I've seen ludicrous things in there, man. Absolutely ludicrous.
Can you drop some source for the people without obviously disclosing anything crazy, but what's something crazy you've seen go on in that space?
I've seen exchanges being built like slot machines. So there are deliberate mechanisms in place to make people lose money at certain exchanges. And I know that a lot of the exchanges, I can point you to 10 or 15 exchanges that use the same backend and front end. The comparison between real data and, okay, the only alpha I can disclose that 80% of the exchanges only do 10% of the volume that they display on CoinGecko a day. So if an exchange says 2 billion, just retract 90. Everything out of the top 10 or top 15, take away 80 to 90% of the volume. Do you have a Blowfin referral code? Everything is in the description, guys. Sign up at Blowfin with my referral in the description. I have 50K to enter the VIP.
Is that a deal with,
who do I contact in the Discord? Me. Send me a DM. You can find me in, yeah, you will find me. I'm pretty hard to get around.
It's crazy. I don't know any other crypto YouTubers who have been a CEO of an exchange before. Maybe the CEO of their own mentorship program, but not the CEO of an actual exchange. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's some alpha going on in here, people.
Gate.io, I haven't checked it. I think Kraken is so scammy if you trade altcoins. Yo, Kraken is IPO'd. The thing is, the game changes as soon as you IPO because, listen, an IPO'd company, everything is public, right? So the market making, everything has to be accounted for. Everything that's IPO, just trade Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana, please. How long have I been in the crypto? I was chatting about it with Dina yesterday. Like the first time I really got into it, I was doing my internship in Chicago because we needed something, and it was dark web shenanigans. And that was 2015. So my first real encounter with crypto, is 11 years ago. And I've been trading for over 7. Do you only trade on both Blowfin? What are you laughing? The shenanigans on the dark web.
No, someone said I see that smirk, B-man.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell that story now. Like the thing was, I was in Chicago when I was 18 or 19 doing my internship, and I made friends with the upstairs neighbors and everyone, and I was there by myself. But the thing is, you can't go out if you're under 21 in America, right? Because you just can't get in. It's 21 and above. So I couldn't go to bars, I couldn't go to clubs, and then social cohesion is getting harder and harder. So at one point we were like, you know what? Let's see if we can get you an ID, you know? And then the place to go to was Silk Road on the dark web. And that's, yeah, Silky Road, exactly. Can you please explain your stop loss strategy? So I don't have a fixed strategy. I would advise to never risk more than 2% on a trade. That's 100% my advice. 2% of your portfolio is always the max risk on a trade. You see, Baxter, what it's doing, by the way, exactly what I expected it. It's consolidating around this range.
So in that case,
and
you'd be looking for a potential long up to the next block.
No, I'm looking for potential weight because I want to take it a direction first. I want it either to consolidate above here, above this, or below this, not here. This is like a coin flip because it can go 72 and 68. It's like they placed it perfectly smack that in the middle. So
that's no worries. We'll just take a trade on both directions at the same time. Yeah.
So for me, my stop loss is always 1 to 3 minimum risk reward. So you can see this is a 0.86% stop. And this is a 3.4% potential gain. And as you can see, it's 3.83. So that is the most important thing about a stop loss. You need to have a realistic upside potential of at least 3 times outweighing the downward risk. So I say that again, your stop loss should be 1/3 of the potential upside within reason. So it's not like you're drawing an 8K stop loss with a 24K upside, because then it's just, how do I say that politely, moronic. How to take positions in both directions? You can't. You won't make money. Is it possible to get into Inner Circle with a funded account? 𝗕𝗟𝗢𝗙𝗽, I'm going to explain this in very simple terms, and you don't have to get offended by this. You can't pay with monopoly money. You can't do your mortgage and monopoly money, buddy.
I want to hear some other crazy experience you've had in your years of mayhem. I feel like you've got a few Wolf of Wall Street-esque moments.
Oh man. Yeah, yeah, but the thing is, my parents watch his live stream as well, you know?
Oh, we're dumping.
So I have to be...
have to be a little bit more PG.
Yeah. I once had a freelance contract to buy Bitcoin for proof of reserve of exchanges. We went to Dubai to buy, I think, 50 million worth of Bitcoin. But how we did it, we would transact in tranches. So we would get 500K or 5 million allocated from the exchange on a ledger account. We would meet at the exchange office. We would check out the documents, anti-money laundering, yada, 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 like whole legal process. And I was in charge of a small team that had the right connections to buying people's stocks. And there was a guy who didn't want to be disclosed. And he said we could meet him in Florida, we could fly over, we could go to Mexico, yada, yada, yada. We were like, who is this guy, you know? he appeared to have thousands of Bitcoin, everything. So we started to do diligence, and it was a company called, no, I can't disclose this. It was a company in Florida who had Mexican subsidiaries and everything. And it ended up being, and thank God we didn't do it back then, it ended up being 𝗓𝗏𝗡𝗍𝗂𝗡. And for the people who don't know, 𝗓𝗏𝗡𝗡𝗍𝗂𝗡 was the accountant of Pablo Escobar.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's a cool story.
So we still have like passport information and everything, and all the legal documents in regards to that potential deal. And there were like high level people involved.
Wow, that's cool.
Bugatti dealerships in Florida and stuff that were also co-investing in that hedge fund, and they were selling against not a premium, but they were selling against a 2% discount. So it was already shady, and they had like 8,000 Bitcoin to offer. So that was. So
what was the purpose of that transaction was buying Bitcoin to have as a reserve?
Yeah, buying Bitcoin for the proof of reserve.
Yeah, gotcha. Makes sense. And the proof of reserve, for those who don't know, is effectively like the insurance policy of the exchange that people are going to be able to withdraw funds.
It's for an exchange to have proof of being liquid and
so
having the right amount of money flow.
It could work effectively.
What?
The point of a proof of reserve is if everyone on the platform was to withdraw their funds at once, it should, in theory, work.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. It's the same as a bank collateral, you know? And it shows the size of the exchange, like.
What was the latest position opened on stream? We had a short open, but we've closed it, so we're in no trades right now. We're sidelined.
So look, this is they even did a full audit on Bybit, proof of reserve. So even though in Ethereum they already have 800 million, Ethereum Solana 500 million, and this is just what they own. $1 billion in what the fuck they own $1 billion in? $1 billion in Gala, 600 million in Ethereum Manto.
So do they need to have the
11 billion
of the spot holdings in that exchange as proof of reserve? Is that the number that it needs to be?
Yeah.
So effectively,
they have
there's $1
these
million
amounts of money liquid at any time. So they also have 700 million USDT, 5.7 billion US, or 700 million USDC, 5 billion USDT. So yeah, Bybit is.
So from that, can you assume, like with the Doge one having $1 billion, could you assume that there's people holding $1 billion worth of Doge in spot on Bybit, so they need to have that to be able to pay the withdrawals? Like, do they need the amount that is being held in spot, or is that not relevant?
I can't comment on that. I can't comment on how it works. I'm legally not allowed to.
Yeah, fair enough. It was cool. It's interesting. I like hearing about it.
No, it's not that I don't want to, but it's like I can't explain in depth how that works. You can Google it, you can find it, ask ChatGPT, but I can't. Banks must have 10% reserves, but exchanges, bro, that's a myth, man. Banks don't have 10%. Banks are the only places in the world that can 1000x leverage their assets. Banks have less than a percentage in stock. It's a hoax that they have 10% liquid or 10% withdrawable. It's an absolute fucking hoax. I'm telling you, because the circulation of cash money is also less than 10% to available money.
So we closed at 70,825. What would we be up now at 70,000?
I don't want to talk about it.
I think we had 4.5 BTC, so that would be 2.5K. Is that right?
Look. Over 90%, but if you do these statistics, it's like 4.9.
What would you trust more to hold your funds, USDT or a bank?
USDC.
USDC, okay, interesting.
The question is, do you trust the European government or you trust the American government?
I'm liking these chats. Feel like we're getting some good little random alpha in here today.
Yeah, but I
interesting
love
shit.
sharing knowledge, and that's what also with a lot of hate you don't get to do. But listen, guys, it might sound arrogant, but I've been around, bro. I've seen stuff. I've been to places. I've done stuff. There are not that many people that can publicly explain and help you with this stuff. Like, I understand traditional financial markets. I understand trusts. I understand. Yeah. Good question. Why do you trust the European government more than the US government? It's because of the economic working. Like, the European government has a different legislative system. Also, the Netherlands, the legislative system of the US is based on the trias politica. So it's the three powers that are controlling each other, with the Federal Reserve playing a critical role in also the contamination of inflation. So what happens is the US is a closed loop economy system, right? So they have regulatory methods of controlling their inflation. What happens is if they decrease the amount of labor and they make labor more scarce, CPI will come down, core price index. And if core price index comes down, it means that the buying power is getting less and less while more people are being unemployed. So that way they have a closed loop to actually control their inflation. So the inflation metrics can be done because it's an island and it's just one economy that has everything to offer. Europe doesn't have a single economy that can offer everything. So European is way more divided. Hence why they need to look out more to other countries and more have a different and more open monetary policy in terms of controlling inflation and keeping everything down. And they're more influenced by the US, they're more influenced by Asia and by Russia. So it's a way more delicate balancing scheme. Hence why they will never just choose for themselves, but also choose for their economies. And that's why I would prefer the EU economy over the American economy. And like the complete legislative system with the trias politica and the two parties, in my opinion, is completely outdated. So there's that.
This is starting to hurt watching this chart. Ah. If we consolidate below this 12 block, would you look for a short to the next one? The next one is at 69,700, or is that at 70,000 flat?
69,737, and that's not a Boeing; it's an old dwell.
Would you run a like 10-minute scalp on this account, or is the risk to reward just terrible on a tiny little scalp like that?
Terrible.
What? I'm getting the itch. I'm getting the trade itch.
Bro, you're getting... You, my friend, are suffering from a minor case of FOMO.
FOMO. Yes, I am.
So the current prices of the dwell block are... It's going to be like the lotto numbers. 65,389. 66,421. 68,717. 69,773. 737, I even mangled that up. 70,318. Bingo!
Ah. Someone's closing half their short. Well, I'm sure you absolutely killed it on that, so congrats. That was a banger. Chento comes through with a banger again.
GG's in the chat.
The ones that you draw out in the Discord seem to play out real well. It's when we jump on stream when we start to doubt ourselves.
Guys, don't forget to hit the like button, by the way.
Smash it. Give it hell.
Let's
Smash it as if you were me smashing your screen after closing our short at 70,850. With pure hatred.
Bro, you're good.
Don't A-pin backs, don't tilt your face off either. Yeah, I'm trying. Sitting on the hands. How many likes are we at, people? I can't see it on my end, but I feel like we deserve it to get smashed. There's been a lot of crazy alpha in this stream. We've had some inside scoops and some Wolf of Wall Street vibes. Let's smash it. And we want to do this series. I mentioned this yesterday. We want to do this series again on a significantly larger scale over a much longer time frame with a smaller amount of money going to a higher amount of money. For example, 1,000 into 1 million, or 5,000 into 1 million, or 10,000 into 1 million. Something finishing at 1 million. We want to do it. So in order to make that happen, this has to perform well. And that's with the likes. So smash the likes if you want to see some crazy shit, because we've got it in the works. We're dumping.
Bro, there's a guy who commented on my probability indicator on X. Yeah, I just like to yab about this, sorry. So I posted today we have an 85% chance of going down. Well, since I posted that, we're down 1.5%. And the guy responded, autism is high in this one.
Yeah, but you're on X. You're like, what do you expect? Of course, there's going to be some terrible, stupid people in the comments. Of course. Whereas in this chat, we've got the most educated, high IQ, Einstein type viewers in here, only dropping bangers in the comments, which we love. But on X, different story. Got some pond scum.
But
there.
It just tickled my funny bone, you know?
Chento's mic is weird. I think potentially Chento's mic is actually clicked into his laptop and not the mic in front of him.
No. It's in the Rodecaster Pro 2 next to me.
Oh, really? Doesn't sound the very best. It may be because we're streaming two different.
Is it better now? Yeah, but my mic is coming through your system and not directly streaming my own mic into it.
Yep, I think that's why.
Bax. I don't see anything right now. We'll smack that on the line. We have to wait.
We're in the same position as yesterday. Fuck, we've got that curse. Every time we turn this camera on, we just...
Bro, but you made some money today on stream. That's good.
Yeah, we did. We did.
I would say we call it for the day here, guys. We had a great session. Yeah, I am weird. That's true. 100%.
I'm weird too. All right, we calling it here. We're in a weird spot. We're in a consolidation zone, so right now it's a coin flip.
I will keep chat updated on the Discord for everyone who is still in that short. GG's. Keep it running. SO, break even, take 50% off the table. And let's take it from there, guys.
All right, people, we will keep you in the loop. Potentially we'll jump back on later.